All right.
Guys, was ready for
First project.
Me!
All right.
Alright, so for our first project, I think we need to do some basic movement. So first off, we're going to have one with wheels and one with tracks. Basically, we're just going to try to get them to move left and right, forward and back, things like that. So it's just going to be pretty simple. We're going to have them on a basic grid. I mean, really, it's just trying to test the grounds, get a foundation for the next ones. But like, why do we need to do this? Does anybody know?
I mean, we kind of need to set all our other future robots that we make, because, you know, we hate employees. All our other future robots, like, they need to know how to basically move, you know what I'm saying, the left and right, you know what I'm saying? They need to know how to do that, right? So I figured we should start with these basic movements.
And then for how it's going to happen, all right, my idea is simplest robot, simplest grid, just put it on a nice little grid, and we'll show like a little simulation of it almost, you know? One robot here, one robot here. And then, like we said, our distinguishing factor can be the fact that one's gonna have wheels and one's gonna have treads. And that is then something that we can carry on to our further designs.
That's really cool.
Hey! Alrighty, guys. So, now it's time for us to start switching over to our simulation that we have prepared. Gabe, can you go get the camera Gabe's way? Thank you so very much. Alrighty. Dylan, would you like to explain this
So basically right here, we got our two robots right here. So play the simulation, thank you. See how they're moving back and forth? So that is controlled by our code right over here. I forget where it is. And again, no, oh, right there, perfect. All right, so right here we have the dimensions of everything. So right here's our wheel diameter, our wheel circumference, axle track, speed, everything like that, how it drives, things like that. And then here is how actually it's going to drive. So this is coded in. So right here, it's gonna rotate, drive, rotate again, rotate, drive again, rotate, drive, until it gets to the place that it needs to be. So just like that.
I love that. What were our two like distinguishing characteristics we were thinking about? I remember one of them was just normal wheels. What was the other one? I think you said it during the presentation.
Tracks.
Tracks. All right.
Okay.
So I'll explain the wheels. I mean, obviously wheels, they're round.
They're really cool.
As one says, best for the pavement. That's really the only surface we should feel comfortable putting our wheels on. Treads though. What was the purpose of treads? Mason, what do you got?
So the purpose of treads is that Mars terrain, it's not concrete, it's nothing even close to it. It's rocky, it's really, really sandy, so we're gonna get torn up out there with our tires. I mean, if you've ever been mud and you've ever been on the beach, you'll know you can get stuck in sand quick. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna implement tracks. So instead of having it sink in, it's gonna sit on top like a tank and skim across the surface instead of like being like tires where they'll sink in.
I like that. Holy cow. This is going
Holy chicken.
As one would say.
Alrighty, guys.
All right, time to go over our problems that we faced, okay? Let's have Eeny, Miny, Mo. Noah, let's have you start us off with that.
Well, one of the biggest problems I think we found is kind of in the simulation, the robots were running into the walls, kind of thing, you know? I guess it took a while to fix it. We had to figure out the right dimensions for robots to turn and how far to go. But eventually we got it so they weren't hitting the walls during the very end, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I know, I do feel that. And then, those are problems. Any cool solutions that we found along the way?
So yeah, basically what I had to do is I had to figure out what angles we needed to turn all the robots to make sure they weren't going to hit anything or each other. So that was kind of a little bit of a pain, but I figured it out.
All right, well, I'm happy to hear that. All right, now before we conclude this meeting, let's just go around in a circle. Let's share something that we learned, okay? Dylan, how about you start us off?
I mean, well, I learned how to turn the robots, so made sure the angles were all correct. Pretty much how I solved it is what I learned.
All right. I don't know, I guess I learned how to kind of implement both robots into the simulation, making sure we had both of them in there at the same time so we could kind of show them off together instead of having to like have different things, you know?
All right, yeah, I do know. And then what I learned was the importance of having two robots instead of one in case, you know, one of them's damaged or one prototype does better than the other. That way you're not mass producing a bad prototype or just one that won't work.
I learned that tracks are far more superior than tires on different types of terrain.
I really learned about the importance of like the basic movements of the robots. Like, without the basic movements, like the robots can't really do anything. I mean, they can't even move. So it's important.
All right. Well, I think this concludes our meeting. Red Racers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Red Racers!